got this guy Adam. He's a 21-year-old kinesiology student. He's fallen in love with someone. Should he get married?
Well, this question's a difficult one because I can think of multiple factors that would be involved in taking the right decision. For starters, the answer is different for men and women. I would generally advise a man to hold off marriage until he's established himself and, has his career going. The reason is because he should have a place of his own to house his wife and future family and a stable job for their upkeep. As Christians, we try to borrow from the biblical template for family building, which has the man, as the breadwinner, the provider. So men who are in school rarely have that kind of stable life because, they're still trying to figure themselves out. So I generally would advise against it, but it's complicated because you may meet the right woman at university, and I can't just tell you to, let it go because you haven't gotten your career established yet. However, my advice in that situation would be that the man would have to pause his studies, get a full-time job, and start taking care of his wife, and then he can go back to finish his studies later. And that would be a sacrifice that he's making for his family and by extension for God because he wants to dedicate himself to raising his family during those formative years. You even see in the Bible that men who got married would take a year off from going to war to be with their wives, right? In Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 5. So we can, pick a bit of sense from that.
And then what about Bethany, a woman studying psychology?
No, I would never advise a woman to hold off marriage till she's finished her studies. There are statistics to show the disadvantages of that. The likelihood of marriage goes down, and sometimes even complications in pregnancies when you miss those prime years of 18 to 25. Plus, God's sole purpose for making woman was to be of service to men who are walking in his fear, if you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. So God will never prefer that a woman prioritize her own goals over that of her future husband. I'm talking about Christian women here. Otherwise, women who don't have the intention of serving God can do whatever they want.